Everyone, welcome to the 1 p.m. meeting on January 28th of the Committee on Housing. I am Stanley Chang, and I'd like to welcome Vice Chair Senator Kanuha, as well as committee members Senator Rhodes and Moriwaki to this meeting. Hang on one second. If there are temporary technical glitches, This meeting, including the audio and video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. You will find links to viewing options for all Senate meetings on the live and on-demand video page of the legislature's website. In the unlikely event that we will have to abruptly end this hearing due to major technical difficulties, the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding legislative business on next Tuesday, February 2nd at 1 p.m. in room 225, and a public notice will be posted on the legislature's website. For the people participating remotely, all testifier audio will be muted and video disabled until shortly before it is your turn to testify. And we will be enforcing time limits for every testifier in case we go long, because we do have to conclude within the time frame that we're allotted. I'll be reading a list of people who submitted written testimony for each measure. We apologize if the closed captioning doesn't accurately transcribe people's names or words. If you're interested in reviewing the written testimony, please go to the legislature's website. You will find a link on the status page for the measure. And because this is, I believe, the first time in the 2021 legislative session that we're doing a hearing remotely, if there are any technical or other issues, please bear with us. The first measure that we have on today's agenda is Senate Bill 40 relating to housing, exempts from income restrictions for sale housing projects that are built for Hawaii residents who will be owner occupants in perpetuity and who own no other property. Our first testifier today is HHFDC with comments. And would you like to testify orally?
Yes, I would.
Please.
Thank you. Aloha and good afternoon, Chair Chang, Vice Chair Kanuha, members of the committee. I am Denise Sari Matsubara, the Executive Director for HHFDC. HHFDC offers its comments. You have our written testimony. We totally understand the desire to make units available to the broader community. A couple of concerns with the terms there, but we offer amending an amendment that would help clarify those terms. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Director. I actually do have a question for you and your department. So the intent of this bill, so let me take a step back. So 201H projects currently qualify because they have a certain number of units that are designated for those within a certain income restriction. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so the intent of this measure is to permit housing developments that are for sale with no income restrictions, but that are restricted to Hawaii residents who are owner occupants and who own no other real property, and to open up those projects for 201H exemptions. Will this language accomplish that intent?
Well, what it does is it lifts the income restrictions. As to what it accomplished, it all depends on what the market will do with it. So in other words, if I'm a developer and I'm building a project that's 50% affordable to those with 140 AMI today, I can qualify for 201H. Is that right? If right now under the current statute,
Correct.
Right, you have to come within the 140% AMI to qualify. Okay. At least 50% plus one of the units, yes.
Okay, so if this measure passes and I'm a developer and I propose a project that does not meet those qualifications, but that is restricted to Hawaii residents, owner occupants who own no other real property, will that project now qualify for 201H?
If you lift those restrictions as of right now as it stands, and if we make some of the amendments that we're suggesting to clarify those terms that we have concerns with, then it appears to achieve that.
Right. So again, I just want to make it crystal clear that this bill will open up a new channel to 201H that does not currently exist.
Yes, it does. And if I could just offer some other comments, and I know this is a big shift, and I can understand the desire to make this available to the broader community. You know, traditionally, the house-burdened market or segment of our population tended to be the lower income population. But because of the pandemic and the devastating impact on our economy, folks in the middle class who never before needed public assistance are now finding themselves in a situation where they now need public assistance. So yes, I understand the desire to broaden that impact. There are still some concerns with the terms that are outlined in our testimony, however.
Thank you very much. Members, any further questions for HHFDC?
So I have a question
Yes,
for
Director.
Yes, thank you. So Director, so if in fact we lift the restrictions on the income, which now favors at least 50% plus one versus those who are in the lower income or moderate income levels, then this opening it up to everyone, even if they're first-time owners and the other qualifications that a qualified resident would come under your definition. Would that then, I mean, would we see that part of the law that we wanted to help the lower income or moderate income residents be a problem? I mean, how would we get to those people?
Broadening the definition just means that the programs would be available to everyone. So to answer your question, Senator Moriwaki, we would still offer it to that segment of the population, but opening it up, of course, reduces the probability, maybe, perhaps. You know, it's all going to depend on how the market reacts. And I did want to also defer to Janice Takahashi, who is our chief planner, and she was trying to get in but wasn't given access. Chair, if we could give Janice Takahashi access, both by camera and microphone, that would be appreciated.
Hi.
Sure.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, Senator. Hi. Thank you. Yes, Denise is correct in her answer. This would actually broaden the people that we can assist under 201H, but it's up to the developer what they decide to market, who they're going to really target, target the lowest end or the middle end. So we can see what we get.
So it would be market then. I mean, for example, it wouldn't be looking at the 140% and below. It would be open to the market so long as you meet the other qualifications of a qualified resident.
Correct. So, and the definition that we'd like to use as the definition of qualified resident, it's already in 201H in section 32. So, you would have to, you would have no other ownership of real property. So the intent really is that it be someone who does not own any other unit in Hawaii or at all. And so the intent is really, we see it as being as a first-time home buyer. Yeah.
And if I could just reiterate, it is going to be market-driven, not only by the market that purchase, but the development community market. So on what they build. So it's all market-driven. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
All right, any further questions for HHFDC? If not, we'll proceed next to our next testifier, HPHA, with comments.
Good afternoon, Chair, Vice Chair, members. Happy New Year to you all. We stand on our testimony, and thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for HPHA? Okay, if not,
I have a
Senator
question.
Moriwaki, go ahead.
So in your testimony, you said that you wanted a clearer definition, Hakeem. So is the one of the 821H32 sufficient to address your concern of needing a definition that's clearer in this bill?
Aloha, Senator, yes, I believe so.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, our next testifier then is Faith Action Housing Now in support, followed by Taylor Yoshitomi Jones in support, and John Kawamoto in support. Is there anyone else who'd like to testify on this measure? Okay, if not, we'll proceed to Senate Bill number 43. Senate Bill number 43 relating to housing creates the position of the State Housing Coordinator and appropriates funds. Our first testifier is HHFDC with comments. I think you're on mute, Director.
Thank you, Chair Chang. You have our written comments that submit supporting the intent. We're happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. How much money do you think is needed for the general fund appropriation that you're suggesting?
I wouldn't even take a stab at guessing at this point. We could look into it, but couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
How does $200,000 sound?
Sounds like a number, a reasonable number, but I couldn't tell you.
Further questions, members? If not, we'll proceed to our next testifier, HPHA, with comments.
Thank you, Chair and members. We stand in our testimony requesting amendments. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Senator Moriwaki, did you have a question? Senator Moriwaki, did you have a question?
Oh, I did, because when I look at the responsibilities of the housing coordinator, it seems pretty extensive that I just see a one person shop there. So I just wondered if the director had any thoughts about that or what's needed to accomplish the responsibilities of that housing coordinator.
Is that for Director Wansafi or?
I'm sorry, no, it's for Director Sari Matsubara. I think it's as I see it, it's going to be in HHFDC. So for Denise.
I think thank you for the question, Senator Moriwaki. I think it's going to be very extensive. Like I said, I don't know if one person alone can accomplish all of that. And again, HHFDC support is conditioned upon there being a general fund appropriation to cover the salary and fringe. So you are absolutely right. Having administrative experience yourself in a state department, it's going to require a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? If not, we'll move on to EAH Housing in support. Taylor Yoshitomi Jones in support. BIA Hawaii in support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Okay, if not, we'll move on to the third item on our agenda today, SB 142, relating to housing development, which exempts affordable housing units developed by HPHA from 50% of school impact fee requirements. And our first testifier is HPHA in support.
Aloha again. Thank you very much. Yes, we stand in strong support of this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have EAH Housing in opposition. And then Taylor Yoshitomi Jones with comments. All right, any questions, members? All right, our final measure today is Senate Bill 143, relating to housing, which establishes an affordable homeownership revolving fund for nonprofit housing development organizations. Okay, and our first testifier is HHFDC with comments.
Thank you very much, Chair Chang. Denise Matsubara again. We offer our comments. It is quite extensive. We can appreciate the need for it. However, the proposal doesn't really meet the criteria of a revolving fund, and because the expenditures out of the fund will not be able to be replenished, so it may not be self-supporting. For those reasons, we have those concerns, and also due to the hiring freeze, current hiring freeze, and the state of the budget, we have those serious concerns. And thank you for the opportunity for us to voice that.
Thank you. Members, any questions for HHFDC? Okay. If not, our next testifier is Hawaii Habitat for Humanity Association. Support.
Yes, thank you, Chair Chang and Vice Chair Kanuha and the committee members. We would like to testify in strong support of this bill for a rental or a home ownership revolving fund. We think that the funds that could be used for this would be overseen through our developers and our community development financial institutions. And with those, feel like there would be less risk that I know HHFDC has concerns about. But we also feel like that home ownership is so important with our people here in Hawaii, and our programs here continue to grow and offer families security in home ownership housing. And we stand on our testimony, which has quite a bit of information in terms of the Habitat program for low-income home ownership. Most of our families are making between 50 and 60% AMI and below, and this would just give us an opportunity to build more.
Very much. Members, any questions? Senator Moriwaki.
Okay, I still don't know how to use this. Forgive me. Okay, I have a question in Director Sari Matsubara's comments. She says that this should not be a revolving fund because we don't have monies coming in on a regular basis. In your experience and your in your work, can you see any kind of funding source that we could tap into that could be used in having a regular funding source so that the projects can go forward?
We, our affiliates, our Habitat family in Hawaii has been using the GIA grants extensively as much as they can, but with the lack of it being regular funding every year, it's not sustainable funding. Plus, it's grant funding. We're looking at, with this revolving loan fund, being low interest loans to the affiliates that would go out to them to build homes, and when they do their mortgages, or when they do the takeout on the mortgages, the money would revolve back in. So it just seemed like a vehicle that would work really well for the state and for our group. But I haven't really explored other methods. We have looked at what's currently available through HHFDC, and nothing really fits well within our model or is in the affordability aspect for our homeowners. So that's where we are.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any questions, further questions for Habitat for Humanity? Okay, if not, we'll go to our next testifier, Faith Action Housing Now in support. Habitat for Humanity Hawaii Island in support. EAH Housing in support. St. Michael the Archangel Parish Kailua Kona in support. John Kawamoto in support. Taylor Yoshitomi Jones in support. Catherine Ishida in support. Late testimony from Hannah Metias in support. And Laverne Tolney in support. Is there anyone else wishing to testify on Senate Bill 143 today? Okay, if not, the committee members will be going into recess and will be coming back for decision making. Welcome back, everyone, to the Housing Committee meeting on January 28th at 1 p.m. Having conferred, we are now ready to DM on these 4 measures. The first is SB 40 relating to housing. The Chair's recommendation is to pass this measure with amendments. We'll be taking the amendments of HHFDC as well as to replace the term residents of the state with qualified residents and to clarify the term perpetuity. We'll also be taking the amendments from HPHA to define the term residents of the state per the HHFDC recommended language. We'll also be noting in the committee report that, again, the intent of this measure is to allow owner-occupant projects to qualify for 201H-38 without income restrictions. Okay, and there may also be technical and non-substantive amendments as well. Members, do we have any questions or discussion? Okay, if not, the Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments.
The Chair's recommendation for SB 40 is to pass with amendments. Chair Chang.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Moriwaki. Can you say that again?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
And Senator Favela?
Aye.
Chair, you have 5 ayes. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you very much. Our next measure is Senate Bill 43 relating to housing. The Chair's recommendation will be to pass with amendments. The amendments will be HPHA's amendment to remove Section 2B10, as well as HHFDC's amendment for a general fund appropriation of $200,000 to cover salary and fringe. And then finally, we have some technical non-substantive amendments from SMA. So the Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments.
Chair's recommendation for SB 43 is to pass with amendments. Chair Chang?
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Moriwaki?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
Senator Favela?
Aye.
Chair, you have 5 ayes. Your motion is adopted.
Thank you. Our next measure is Senate Bill 142 relating to housing development. Again, the recommendation will be to pass with amendments. We'll be taking the amendments from HPHA and EAH for a full exemption from school impact fees and possible technical and non-substantive amendments as well. So the Chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments.
Chair's recommendation for SB 142 is to pass with amendments. Chair Chang?
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Moriwaki?
Aye.
Senator Rhodes?
Aye.
Senator Favela?
Aye.
Chair, you have 5 ayes. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And our final item today is Senate Bill 143 relating to housing. Again, the Chair's recommendation will be to pass with amendments. And if we can just, I don't know if Director Lilly is still on the call, but we actually just did have one question, which was how much money should go into this revolving fund?
So I know this year's a tough year for the state, and our goal is just to establish the fund. So we were willing to say a nominal amount to establish the fund, maybe $1 million, something like that.
Okay, thank you. So so then the recommendation will be to pass with the amendment suggested by Habitat to begin the fund with $1 million as well as technical non-substantive amendments. Any questions or discussion? If not, the chair's recommendation is to pass with amendments.
Chair's recommendation for SB 143 is to pass with amendments. Chair Chang.
Aye.
Vice Chair votes aye. Senator Moriwaki.
Aye.
Senator Rhodes.
Aye.
Senator Favela.
Aye.
Chair, you have 5 ayes. Your recommendation is adopted.
Thank you. And that brings us to the end of our 1 p.m. agenda. I want to thank all the committee members for participating in this meeting, including Senator Favela, who joined us, and our testifiers who have been patient with us as we've adjusted to this new system, as well as all the staff in IT who have made this remote hearing possible. This is the first one today, and it seems to have gone pretty smoothly, so I guess we'll all have to get used to this. Thank you very much, and this meeting is adjourned.